messages will now become subliminal, but your subconscious mind will be hearing and accepting all of the positive messages. Listen to the tapes as often as you can. The more you listen, the sooner success will come.
Wake me up from this physical world.
Good morning and welcome to the Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice podcast. I am your host, Kenya Zandrowicz. Thank you all so much for joining me. Whether you're watching or you're listening, I am so happy that you are here. We have another great show lined up for you today. Today's topic, breaking generational chains. What does that mean? What does that look like? And how do you do it? A lot of us, I know you have probably heard the terminology, and so have I, breaking the generational curses. Breaking the generational chains, it's the same thing. It is basically certain scenarios, situations, beliefs, ideas, mindsets that are attached to you that you have taken on from the moment you were brought into this world. And for some of us, we still carry that information with us into our adult life. Now, this can be a very difficult topic for some individuals because it's coming to the realization that if you want something different, you have to go in and you have to work on it. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's all about working on you. It's all about guiding you to do the inner work for yourself so that you can find more peace, more balance, more calm, more clarity, more prosperity, more abundance. You can bring all of those things into your life. You can usher all of those magnificent things into your life. I talk about the art of meditation and mindfulness quite often. That is how I have been able to begin to understand who I am, understand my emotions, and navigate through those waters. And I assist others in doing the same thing. And so the podcast is one way for me to have those conversations and for you to just kind of listen. You know, it is a conversation for you, with myself, for you. And that's why I have found that I have a strength and a confidence when it comes to tapping into my own inner voice so that I can get myself through certain things. Now, let's talk about that, breaking the generational chains. What is it and what does it look like? So we have certain behaviors. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to dive in and I'm going to talk about one of the things that I know that I had taken on just because of my environment or the way that I was raised. And there are a lot of us that are living in certain areas and in cities and towns where we have that scarcity mindset, where we feel like there's never enough, where it's difficult to pay the bills, where you're just concerned and you're feeling like there's never enough time, the money's not coming in, how am I going to survive? How am I going to take care of myself? How am I going to take care of my family? I grew up hearing those things, and it's no one's fault. It is just the situation that I was raised in. And my parents did the absolute best that they could, and they made sure, that that I was provided for and that there was food. But a lot of adults, we think our children don't know. We think they don't see it. We think they don't understand, but they do. You hear those things and you're going down to get the public assistance and you're grateful to receive it, but you sit and you wish there was more. And so one of the things that I had seen in my own life was there was a cycle. There was a cycle that I was in. I was younger when I had my children. And so I needed help. I needed assistance. And I was led to believe that it's okay. Go ahead and have a child, right? That the state will assist you. It's there. It's there to help you. It's there to help you feed your family. But there was nothing there to help me get out of the situation that was readily available. There was nothing there that was assisting me or that I was tapping into or that I believed was there to help me mentally get out of it. And so I saw that there was a repeating cycle for me where the money was there and then it was gone. The money was there and then it was gone. The money was there and then it was gone. And I had to figure out why that was. And as I started my own journey of becoming, of evolving into the person that I am now, that was one of the things that I had to try to understand. I was not tapped in and I did not believe in prosperity. I did not believe in having a prosperity mindset. And I had to hold myself accountable because I know and I knew that there are things that can be done where I can usher that in. I had to make room and allow that type of thinking in. And so as we go through life, there are cycles and there are things that we are repeating. For some of us, it can be insecurities, it can be low self-esteem, it can be commitment issues. You can look at your life and see how you have come through life this far. And there are repeating cycles. There are hamster wheels that we are on, and we're just going around and around and around, and we're holding on to the same habits, the same beliefs based on what we were seeing on a daily basis. And sometimes it is reinforced by what we're watching, by what we're listening to, by what we're reading, by the conversations that we're having. Now, this is hard to admit, but I'm going to, and some of us actually might still feel this way, but I was afraid of success. There was an unknown to success. When you're looking at the media and you're looking at the entertainment industry, it's like the bigger you are, the taller you are, the higher you are, the harder you fall. And that had been said so many times that it was just like it was playing in the background. So I would start a business and it would go but so far, or a project, it would go but so far. And then I would just jump onto something else. And that was because I knew that I was getting there to the point where that plateau was, and I was fearful and I was self-sabotaging my own success because I was afraid of what was on the other side. And when I say it, I'm just like, I want to just, hit myself in the head because I think of so many doors that I closed on my own and so many opportunities that I missed because I was afraid of what was on the other side. And as I began to really dive into my own life and my own habits, my own bad habits, I had to come to the realization that that is truly something that I needed to work on. I was fearful of success and I was fearful of money because I felt as though I didn't understand it because there was never enough of it. And the conversations about money, about what money can do for you and about how it can assist you and it can assist others was not talked about. I mainly heard how there was never enough. And you think about what was taught during my time in the school system. Balancing a checkbook was not one of them. It wasn't one of them at all. And so I wanted to find a way to understand it. And so I began to put myself out there and allow myself to interact with other individuals. I wanted to understand money. I wanted to understand abundance. I wanted to understand prosperity, and I wanted to understand flow. The same way I wanted to understand love, I wanted to understand patience. I wanted to understand confidence. I had to go in first and understand myself and understand what that meant to me and teach myself and learn and allow myself to evolve and open myself up to more confidence. How do you open yourself up to opportunities of expressing your own confidence, your own inner being, your own skills? And that is to go in to learn those skills, to talk about those things, to be mentored by those individuals. Same thing with love. In the past, when you're younger, you think love is supposed to be just this beautiful thing that somebody else gives to you and it comes from them. And the only way to get it is they have to give it to you. Wrong. You are love first. You learn to love yourself first, and then you teach others how to love you. Same thing with being confident. You build your confidence and you understand your value and you understand your self-worth and you hold on to that. And then you show that to others. You can walk into a room more confidently. You can speak more confidently. You can project your voice. You can stand firm in your beliefs confidently. But you have to do the work first. And then that opens up the door and it allows more opportunities for you to engage and interact with that particular energy. Same thing with your emotions. Your emotions. Understanding your emotions. I believe that I always had a very good understanding of my emotions from a very young age. I took on and I held on to things, and I worked on them internally, but I did try to understand my emotions, and I was never one to quickly jump out and respond. I had to learn that. So when I was younger, I remember, I believe I was probably about 8 years old. I think I was in the third grade. And I was getting onto the school bus. I was on the bus, and my close friend at the time, I can't even remember what her name is. I can see her face. I can even tell you what I was wearing. I had on this burgundy coat with a hood, and it had this beige liner, so it was cold. So we got on the bus, and every day she was just being bullied. And every day she cried. And every day I just hurt and I empathized with her. And then one day I lost my scruples. In the third grade, this 8-year-old little girl had enough. I stood up to every last one of those bullies on her behalf, to the point where I don't remember anything except for the fact I got suspended, almost got expelled, because I started to just fight everyone with everything that I had, my book bag, my scissors, whatever. And I remember that word expelled, and I remember my mom saying to me what that meant, that you would be removed. And that meant that I would not see my friends, the ones that I had, I wouldn't be able to engage. And so, that affected me. And ever since then, I had been very mindful about reacting or responding emotionally, because I knew that I can get to a place where my emotions, I was leading by them, and sometimes that's not always the best way. However, that was also counterproductive. Because of that, I would never express how I was feeling on the inside. If someone was bothering me, I did not want to be confrontational. I didn't want to be confrontational, not necessarily because of the other person, but it was more because of myself. And although I was protecting someone else, the repercussion was very huge for me at a young age, that I held on to that. And so I brought that over into my life. And so my beginning relationships were not the best, being in an abusive relationship, both physically, mentally, and verbally, because I did not want to be I did not know how to stand up for myself. Now, I did get to that point where I began to see the habits and the patterns, and I was probably around 27 years old when, or maybe a little bit, younger than that, when I opened myself up to, you know what, this isn't right. I want more. I began to get back into corporate America, and I was around people who were doing things with their lives, and they were inspiring me, and I began to build up the strength to say no more of that. That ended, and that's when my growth began. And so I started to see what life could be for myself, and then I started to go after those things. And building up the confidence to go after those things is what I did. I started spreading my wings, and I started living and doing things the complete opposite of what I was taught or what I was brought up to believe. I knew that I wanted a certain type of life. I knew that I wanted to sit and run a multi-million-dollar empire. Okay. What does that look like? I wasn't going to know until I sat with someone that did it. And so each time I would go into a situation where I would get an opportunity, I was always there to learn. And I always knew when that learning cycle had come to an end, because inside my soul would just start dancing around, and it would start getting, I can't necessarily say impatient, because I don't think that my soul gets impatient. I think that I began to feel more of the contrast within myself. Like, okay, I'm not going to get any further with this. And it's time for me to move on, because I need to take on what's next. I need to take on what's next for my life. I'm trying to get into that seat where I'm running a multi-million-dollar business, a brand, where I am truly creating things and helping others move in a positive direction. And so as I'm going forward, I'm removing a lot of those negative beliefs that I had learned for so long. My dreams were even going back to the home where I was raised, and I'm like, why do I keep going back here? And I would always go back there when there was something that I needed to learn, when there was a merry-go-round that I needed to hop off of, and I was just hanging on for dear life, like just holding on to the pole, and this thing was just going around and around and around, and I felt like I was not in control. But I had to become aware of those things within my own life. And you have the power and you have the ability to do the same. We can hold ourselves bondage and hostage with old beliefs, with old emotions that we need to offload to make room for the new. You cannot grab what is meant for you if your hands are full. You cannot open yourself up if you have yourself in some ethereal straitjacket. You cannot grow if you're living in the gilded cage. You can be comfortable. You can be content. But we are creatures that need to evolve, and we need to grow so that we can understand ourselves and understand others better, so that we can navigate and move this world, this life, this existence. We can move it forward. And past traumas can play such a huge part, and I understand that now. And my goal is to help individuals heal. It is to help them learn that you can talk yourself through if you will allow that positive inner voice, if you will allow yourself to engage with your higher self, with your soul self, with your inner being. And you can teach that person, you can teach that energy how to connect with you, because it's trying. It's trying. That little voice inside your head that tells you things, It's there. But sometimes you have to learn to quiet the mind. You have to still your being, and you have to not allow your circumstance to dictate everything that's happening for you. We can look around and we'll think there's never enough. Or you can look around and you can say, here's an opportunity for me to learn something new, for me to move forward. I will continue to water my garden. It is sprouting. The seeds are sprouting. That takes work. That takes time. And you will reap the benefits of your labor. You will. And, my producer, Tiffany Terrell, she lays out such a beautiful, beautiful show for me. It's like she knows my heart and she knows my soul. And I prayed for that type of individual to come into my life to assist me. The individuals that are there that are helping me, my support system, these are individuals that I had to usher in. I had to open the door. I had to remove my past misconceptions about teamwork. And they were based on past negative experiences with partnerships, with bad business deals and all of those things. And I had to learn how to trust. I had to learn to trust myself, to know what I want, to stick with the plan, to stick with the vision, to stick with the goal, and move towards that. So this show right here, this episode right here is one that I feel that we are all in need of and learning and learning to understand. So we know that we have these things that we carry with us as baggage. Erykah Badu said it best for women, bag lady. You're gonna miss your bus. You're gonna miss it all hanging on to all of this baggage. You have to drop them. You have to let them go. Release them so that you can move freely, so you can break free from the generational change that are in your life. Men, understanding that you too are an emotional creature and that it is okay to express yourself emotionally. It is okay to hurt. It is okay to talk about the hurt. It is okay to bond. It is okay to be who you are and understand that. And when you're holding the weight of the world on your shoulders, it is okay to say, I need to sit down for a minute. I need help. I need someone to talk to. I need support. I need to ball up, and I just need my significant other to hold me. I need to cry. It's okay to do those things. And so we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to talk about what are some of the things that can be done so that you can break free from those chains. What are the steps that need to take place? So don't go anywhere. We're going to talk more about breaking the generational chains when we come back. Want to win a copy of my latest book, Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice? Simple. Visit my website at kenzandrowicz.com. Take the self-talk assessment test. Then tune in each week to see if you've won. Remember, as always, I'll be talking to you positively. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining me. You are listening to the Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice podcast, and you may also be watching courtesy of Indie Central TV. I hope that you are enjoying the show thus far. We are talking about breaking the generational change and what does that look like, and how can you do that? So there are 3 steps that we talked about briefly before break, but we're going to go a little bit more into that. And one is to recognize and acknowledge the pattern. How do you recognize and acknowledge the pattern? Now, for me, I tend to sit quietly with myself and I write and I journal a lot. I write certain things down. I will write down my dreams and I will look at where I am now. If something is bothering me, is Is it connected to a past thought, a past situation? Can I change it? Is there a way for me to switch my internal dialogue? Is there a way for me to change that belief, to create a new neural pathway so that I can move forward? And the answer is always, for me, it's always yes. Any situation that I am in, if I am looking to change it, I have to go within first, because I know that I am the person that is manning this vessel. So if I want something different, I have to begin to do things differently. So I'm looking for those patterns and those things that I may be doing that's not assisting me. And a lot of times I will look at those individuals that I admire, where they are professionally, where they are emotionally, spiritually, mentally. I find those individuals and I listen to the things that they are saying, and I take from it what is needed, which is what I hope that this show does for you. So sitting with yourself and recognizing and acknowledging those bad habits and those patterns and those negative beliefs that you have, and acknowledging the fact that you need to change them. That's where we come into the second step. You heal and you rebuild from that place. And so healing, that inner healing, it's not a pretty place sometimes, and it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it can take weeks, months, or even years. And hopefully, because it has taken me years to get to this point, it won't take you as long, because the information that I am sharing is information from experience. It's an authentic dialogue about the things that I have learned, that I have seen work for others, and not only has helped me to change my life. I'm not who I was 10 years ago. The physical vessel is, but it also isn't, because I've had to change the things that I do, what I eat, how I take care of my body. Those things had to change. So although I am here, I have evolved on so many levels. And that's what this is about. It's about your evolutionary process. This is a you movement. This is solely about you. And that's why I do it. It's to help you. And again, this is my therapy each and every week. So we're kind of doing this together, because for me to open myself up and feel confident enough to expose and express myself in this capacity is huge for me. It's very big for me. And not looking for any type of applause or any type of validation, other than if I can sit up and live and work towards my goals and move forward, you can too. You can too. We all can. And that's what this is about. So that healing piece, it needs to happen. And you, throughout that healing piece, you're also rebuilding. At the same time, you're rebuilding your life, because you are going after the life that you desire. And rebuilding can be painful, especially when you have to lose some things and you have to let go of some things. But when you change the verbiage from losing and letting go to making room, it kind of changes the feel of it a little bit. So reframing is also a big part of that. And we've talked about that on previous episodes, but it's always a part of awakening that positive inner voice. It's always a part of your process. So learning to reframe the narrative, learning to reframe that inner dialogue and how you speak to yourself is really important. And then you can begin to build. You're rebuilding from that place. You're taking on new things. My book, Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice, we have various activities within that book that talk about that very thing. So if you have not, please go check it out, grab your copy. Speaking of, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but So when you're reframing and you're building those new, you're rebuilding new habits. So creating and maintaining those new habits. How do you do that? How do you stay consistent? You're going to be triggered in your life, and there are going to be things that happen that are going to cause you to backslide a little bit. Where it's just easier to go back into the old thought. It's easier to go back into the old habit because that's where you're comfortable. You've done it so many times and you just like, I'm just going to forget it. I'm just doing it this way. And you can catch yourself as long as you go back to step one, when you can recognize and acknowledge that you are slipping into old habit. You can catch yourself. And even if you do, it's okay. That's how you learn. You learn by doing. You learn by doing over and over and over again. You learn by trying. You learn by failing. You learn by falling. That's how you learn to do it better the next time. So don't be hard on yourself if you're like, damn it, I did this before. I knew better. Yes, you knew better, but in the heat of the moment, habit felt better. So you did what you have always done in the past. But you are not your past. You are your now. And now is where you bring in those new habits. You create your new way of doing things, your new way of learning, your new way of understanding, your new way of loving yourself, your new way of building your confidence, your new way of building your self-esteem, your new way of opening yourself up to prosperity, your new way of changing from a scarcity mindset to one of prosperity. Allow yourself to be abundant. Allow yourself to be grateful. Sometimes that can be hard depending upon what it is you're going through, but you can find that one little spark of gratitude. And that can fuel your engine to help you continue to move forward, to better your life for yourself, to better your life for your legacy. It stops with you and starts with you. I'm going to say that again. It stops with you and starts with you. And that is something that I feel we all need to understand. That is how this process is going to work. And that is how you are going to move forward or begin to move forward. From this point right here, you're going to begin to move forward into the life that you absolutely desire to have. So we are running a promotion right now where I'm giving away one free copy of my book each week, the Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice podcast. It's real simple. All you have to do is go to my website and take the self-talk assessment test. You will be entered each week until your name is called to win a copy of this book. This book right here was spawned from my life, from understanding what it was that I needed to do to get myself through things. And it started with the book, and here we are with the podcast, and now it is a movement. It is a you movement. That is what this is all about. And we do have a winner. Our winner this week is Norris Smith. Woohoo! You have a copy of this book coming to you. Thank you so much for taking the self-talk assessment. And I love, that you are honest about what it is that you are working on internally, and that you have recognized some of the ways that you can improve. So thank you so much for taking that test, and that information, and that book is coming your way. If you would like your copy, or you would like to be entered to win a free copy, simply go to my website and take the self-talk assessment test. Again, I'm just trying to offer the information. I'm just trying to give it. I'm trying to allow people to understand that they have permission to live a big life, and tell yourself that you have permission to live a big life. So give yourself permission to live a big life. We all know that lives, and we are not in control of certain things and situations, but you can be in control of your response to it, of how you feel and how you think. We will all feel sorrow. We will all feel pain. We can all empathize. We all will have things in our lives that we may not like, that are complete contrasts to where it is that we're trying to go. But that contrast sometimes is necessary so that you can remember where it is that you are trying to go. Manifestation is real. The power of the mind is real. You can get yourself through your hardest times. When you are talking to Source, God, universe, individuals, we sit, we pray, you read the Bible, you meditate, you do what you need to do. But as long as you are doing something to help get you from where you are to where you're looking to go, you have a choice. You have free will. It is up to you to craft and bring forth that life you truly desire. And for everyone, it's not necessarily money. For individuals, they just want more joy. They want more peace in their life. You have the ability, the tools, and the resources within you to bring that and usher that into your life. But you have to make room. You have to clear out the cobwebs. You have to set up space. You do. And I had to learn that. I always had an ideal, whether it be for a relationship, whether it be for, a job, a career, or what have you. And I had to make space for it. I had to make room. And that was a hard process. But I did it. I'm glad that I did do it. And I can always do it again. So I'm always making room for this big, expansive life that I want to live, the things that I want to experience in life, the things that I want to do for people, how I want to help other individuals, how I want to help this world. Lord knows it needs it. But you can only do it with one person at a time. So I have to start with me. And hopefully my life and the information and the things that I share will inspire you to make the necessary changes in your own life. Before we go, I have to give a huge shout out to a few people. My husband being one. Thank you so much, Joel, for your support in all of this. I would also like to give a shout out to, of course, my producer, Tiffany Terrell. Without you, this would be hard. I'd still do it, but it would be hard. I would also like to give a shout out to Michael K. Jones, my business partner with Indie Central Media. This is how we do what we do. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to Mark's 11, our theme music. The song is spot on. If you haven't taken the time to actually listen to our theme music, just wake me up. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to wake up your positive inner voice so that you can do more in life, so that you can do more with your life. That is what we are here to do. So if you have not, please go and follow me on social media, Kenya Zandrowicz on Instagram and on Threads. You can also follow me on Facebook, KN Zandrowicz. Go check out the website. Everything that you need is right there. You don't have to go all over the place to find what you need. You simply go to my website, KN Zandrowicz. I promise you, it's all there. Again, thank you so much for listening. But before we go, we have our quote of the week. We cannot forget our quote of the week. We are not our ancestors' wildest dreams. We are the dream, and it is our responsibility to awaken that dream within us and bring it to life. Kenya Zandrowicz. I have a couple of good quotes too. I hope that you have enjoyed the show. I would like to send out some positive energy and some positive vibes to those individuals who have been negatively impacted by the storm. I would also like to send thoughts and prayers to those who are suffering on a global scale. There's a lot of chaos that is happening in the world. And when we can still our minds, and when we can go in, and when we can emanate that love and that peace and send that energy outward, one person at a time, collectively, we can come together and we can make a difference. So as always, people, I'll be talking to you positively.
These messages will now become subliminal, but your subconscious mind will be hearing and accepting all of the positive messages. Listen to the tapes as often as you can. The more you listen, the sooner success will come.
Wake me up from this physical world. Then shake me up, so I can see the world. Oh, pick me up from the illusion world. Ooh, damn baby, kiss me up like it's the end of the walking down the streets of my dreams, why it seems so real. I can't believe I see what's really real. See the things we feel, we can make them disappear, 'cause the time is near. You see, so won't you come with me? Wake me up from this physical world. Then shake me up so I can see the world.